Typical forward structure, but working well so far.
They were able to get it from the kick-in all the way through, weren't they? The transition was impressive. Sewell did well. He dug it out and then carried it forward. Whitecross marks.
Sorry. Here, please.
Done much the attacking Hawthorn.
Coming to you.
And he's found a target here. Lewis, who's drifted into a hole. He had that spectacular match in a couple of seasons ago against Heath Shaw. He's kicked 15 goals this year, Lewis. 8 of them have come in the opening term. So this has been his most productive quarter, and he's got it home. So he adds to that record. And the other thing he's been doing, he's been ticking the scoreboard over. He's kicked 8 goals in his last 6.
Ellis, Breust, Sewell, Mitchell swings it from 60 metres out, down towards full forward. They all fell over. Socket away from Pendlebury off the ground. Rioli. Magic.
Sewell, I mean, they've kicked the goal, but Brad Sewell, Sam Mitchell, both in the centre square, and Sewell has brought out the last 2 centre bounce clearances. He's had his 8 disposals already, so he's back in the middle where he plays his best. And I still think when the crunch is really on in the finals pressure, Mitchell and Sewell are going to be spending a lot of time in that centre square crew.
Well, there's been a lot of talk about perhaps the lack of speed for Hawthorn through the middle, but this has a finals intensity about it.
Gibson did brilliantly. Sewell again. Gibson's high ball inside the forward 50. Rioli's sandwich, punched away by Goldsack. Rioli, what a recovery. Flicks it across to Hill. Hill short to the pocket. And this will open up for the man who's got the football now. It's Smith.
Just because Goldsack's not actually on the mark. He's a metre or 2 inside the mark, but he's opened up the angle.
He has indeed. Smith comes in and slots the goal. That'll teach him. And really the key. High ball out of that defensive 50. Birchall takes the mark.
Birchall.
Yep. Hasn't missed a beat, has he?
Doesn't look like he's missed 7 weeks.
No. It's amazing what these guys can do now. Come back and play as if they never went away. And here's Buddy. Very keen to set the mark. Side bottom not getting an inch. He's got his number, but he hasn't got his number. Here's Franklin. Right on the 50. Amazing record against the Magpies. And he adds to it. How about that one? Buddy Franklin playing his 13th game against Collingwood. 51 goals.
It's a good kick too, Dennis. I mean,
it's pretty close.
That is just about playing on.
He's kicked 51 goals now against Collingwood, more than any other team. He's got 50 against the Bombers as Bailey gets it forward. Massive fly. Puopolo and down low. Whitecross goal. Hawthorn rolling now. They've kicked away to a 3-goal lead. Just winning those centre clearances too, aren't they?
When he injured his knee, there's a lead from Puopolo late last year. I remember watching him on the boundary thinking he was in good spirits, he was talking to his teammates, he was actively involved, and he's bounced back in his form since he's come back. It's been great, and so he's playing well at the right time of the year and getting his just desserts for obviously a lot of hard work.
It makes it easy for the forwards though if you can win the centre clearance and then kick the ball to 15 metres out. I mean, the opposition defence...
Back it goes to Puopolo to Gibson, back to Mitchell. They share it so well, and then Mitchell to Franklin. And then Franklin can spread it again, and Hawthorn can go here. Birchall off that step. Lewis, now he's a long straight kick, Lewis. What does he do? He sets it to full forward. Hale and Roughead, not quite. Breust, goal. Roving it brilliantly again. Well, front and centre, they've been all over them, haven't they?
It is. I mean, you can lob the ball into the goal. A couple of plays, and I think he deliberately did that, Lewis.
Yeah, but
don't put it onto the goal line because that'd be too easy to spoil through. And Roughead, in fact, just palmed it down forward to Breust.
It was like a little 9-iron from Lewis in the end. It was a beautifully weighted kick.
Great forward teamwork.
He's as dangerous as any as a small forward in hitting the right spot at speed, Luke Breust, isn't he? He's
well,
great report.
One in Elliott, Dennis said, right up the ground, so they're squeezing here, Hawthorn.
Advantage!
So Hodge gets the advantage and kicks beautifully to Hale, who's having a really, really big night. He was amongst the leading disposal getters in the opening term, Hale. He only averages 12 disposals a match, and he's already got 8. He's kicked 3 behind so far tonight. Well, he's been a big player so far. A really important player. Gets his first goal.
Off hands at calls to the back. Sinclair, Puopolo straight through, well played. Now Sewell on the assist. They're away. Rioli, a runner alongside. Doesn't need assistance. Nobody alongside now. He's left them in his wake. Goes to the square. Snapped by Smith. He gets his second goal. Well, disaster can happen.
Here's Rioli, poetry in motion. What a great run, and gave it to Isaac Smith. But Collingwood are just getting smashed through the middle of the ground in transition and uncontested footy. It's not beautiful at all.
All right, Richo. Self. It comes out towards Duray. The interchange gates. Long. Roughead's in the band behind. Well, forced to spoil. Guess who? Rioli hard against the line. That's ambitious. Cuts his way through. Looks to the middle. Low down. Deserving of the goal. So Gunston directly in front. And with the rain comes a downpour of goals for Hawthorn. Let's find out. Interesting hand pass, by the way.
Umpire's decision was a goal.
Oh.
No,
That's right. It was hand, wasn't it?
Yep.
Looked like it was hand between Hawthorn hand between the Collingwood boot. Let's see.
The hand of Duray.
Oh no, the last minute, the stops.
Oh, the boot of Blair. Isn't this thrilling? They're both there together. Oh, wow. He's called a goal.
Looking inconclusive, eh?
Which goes to umpires.
Which goes to umpire's call.
It's amazing how we make inconclusive so exciting. NFI, me.
Fingerprints for mine, then.
Yes, I think you're
There are
right.
his fingers there, unless his boot touches it again after this.
Score review complete. Umpire's call.
All clear.
Made a shot.
I think he's got a couple of Hale hooker tapes at home, sure, don't you?
I think so.
Yeah, about here, just a little wider.
Avoid that at all costs.
Men on the mark, just outside the 50. Not sure what that was. Roughead gets a half volley. It runs free at the back. Grundy did well to Thomas out of the back pocket. Well, buddy, practice makes perfect. He's got to get another free kick with almost the identical position, maybe a couple of metres closer towards the numbers.
The rubbish is blowing in that direction, so he might as well have the long shot. Would indicate that.
So, buddy, I think he will take a shot here. 52 metres out. Kick is on the way. Generally, it comes back. That is perfect. Gun barrel straight in a roundabout sort of way. He's got two.
Dan, do you reckon he'd worked all that out? You know, the old 6-point play with the
I think
short
so.
pass, come back to me.
Cunning devil.
Just a perfectly executed kick. I mean, it's an unusual action. We know all that, but
The step out and the hook across the body, then the ball tinked.
And Lewis has got it now. They've got the wind at their back, we feel. He decides to go to Franklin. Went very early. It's a free kick to Buddy for a push.
The question, could we stop
Ben
Franklin
Reid.
getting his hand to it?
I'm thinking about Ben Reid right now.
So's Nathan Buckley.
Yep.
So Franklin kicks his third, and he's had 3 free kicks in the last minute.
Spills in front. Rioli under pressure. Spotted Hill, I think. Hill goes after the football. Oh, clever by Lewis. Breust deep in the pocket. Gunston, how's that for teamwork? We've seen it a few times tonight for Collingwood, something out of nothing. Hawthorn working up. Paul Puopolo, a cult figure. And he comes and he puts it through. Big goal in the context of this game. That's his first.
So Sinclair going down.
The ball travels to Bailey's right. He misses. That was big.
Certainly was. That would have really made life difficult. Collingwood, you still feel are very much in this match. They need a game breaker. They need a goal to get them going again, but
Move it on now.
they're close enough. Oh, that's a shocking kick. And Franklin with an opportunity to kick his 4th goal after Goldsack absolute Little milestone for Buddy if he kicks this. It'll be his 300th goal here at the MCG. He's got a remarkable record against Collingwood. Looks good, doesn't it? He's kicked his 4th goal and his 300th here at the Great Ground. Well,
He's had a big night, Lance Franklin, hasn't he? Been pushing right up. He's had the 4 inside 50s to go with his 4 goals.
Into the air, Hale almost. Falls to Gunston, there's time enough. Dangerous situation for Keith. How will it bounce? Buddy trying to fend him off. Buddy's got him in his territory, in his spider's web. He goes for a centering kick. This could be the game breaker. Whitecross goes in, kicks it. Alone on an island was Lachlan Keith and paid the price.
Contest, no one else near you. The ball hits the ground. In the air, he's got some chance, but as soon as it hits the ground, Franklin is far, far too agile, and Keith knew it.
You just know you're in trouble. It's like being in the bathtub with the Loch Ness Monster, isn't it?
I reckon I wouldn't be surprised if Brendan Whitecross gets votes from our Clarkson. He's done a terrific job on Heath Shaw and kicked a couple of goals.
That's a massive turnover, isn't it?
Yep.
Ben Reid for the Hawks. Giray got an ordinary bounce. Gibson held up well as he always does. Rioli should have got a free kick. Gibson gets it back. Doesn't kick many goals. Goes for Gunston, and Gunston takes an easy mark. As Lewis
seen him getting possessions in the defensive 50 and obviously pushing forward. Should be able to make this one.
He goes at about 80% of set shots this year, and Hawthorn are getting away in this second half. It's just the perfect third forward, isn't it? He really is.
16 goals, which I guess is a little better than what they've done previously, Collingwood's defensively, but still.
23 points the margin. Well, Savage appear to be held. Still gets it. In trouble. Hill finds a way through, almost. O'Brien goes with him. Hill the snap. Great goal, young fella. Icing on the cake.
That point, Macca, they're up to 17 goals, and I think that's the one.
Just huge. I was just going to say, just huge depth for Hawthorn. I mean, they don't seem to have any weak links. Brett Guerrero's obviously a late withdrawal. He's in there.
Tomorrow night, big game for them. Fremantle and West Coast. They're playing West Coast, of course. Roughead lets fly, and that's his first of the night.
Season.
Just look where he came from there. I mean, that's an elite clearance stoppage type player. He got to the hit zone at speed. Bloke is 6'6", 6'7", and launches from outside 50. Shows you his value and his class, but again highlights the versatility of their forwards, doesn't it, Lee?
In the early days, we'd often the Lions put Jonathan Brown in the centre square because even though he's big, he can get the ball at ground level. And Roughead just
tonight, led by Franklin. Hale was good early. So Hawthorn do it again, kick a very big score against Collingwood and take a grip on top spot on a big Friday night at the G. Great game, and a terrific effort by Hawthorn. Down to you, Matthew.
Well, Hodge, after a few weeks, we probably didn't play your best footy, certainly back there tonight.
Yeah, you're right. Coming off the Essendon game, we played a good style of football, and then obviously disappointing against Richmond and St Kilda. We got the job done, but we knew it was going to be hot tonight, and even that last 5 minutes, it was a very intense game around the stoppages. The boys were working hard, so it was turned to be a good win, boys.
Set up early, got off to a fast start. Brad Sewell set it up, probably back in really good form in that first quarter.
Yeah, right. I think no matter what people say about Sewell throughout the season, this time of the year is when he really stands up, and Well, you can guarantee if there's someone getting put off the bottom of the pack, it's going to be Sewelly. He loves this kind of finals football and the intensity of the game, and that's what we expect from him.
Grant Birchall didn't miss a beat, had 7 weeks out. He just makes you such a more balanced team, I reckon.
Yeah, Birch, I reckon, could have played the last couple of weeks. I just want to make sure, get a bit more running into him, and as you see, I think he started cramp up last 5 or 10 minutes, but as you said, he come out, he was composed, he's a big boy, it's good luck tackling him.
What about your thumb, mate? Held up all right?
Yeah, mate, it's all good.
Do you like the glove?
What glove?
35 points, the Hawks on top of the ladder, and that's the reason why they are on top. They're a very, very good side right across the entire team. 11 goal scorers, as we heard there, players getting in amongst it. The centre clearances were too good, and as we said, any chance Collingwood had, they kicked themselves out of it at times in front of goals and around the ground.
Yeah.
Brody Grundy was fantastic from a Collingwood point of view.
Yeah, Swan penalty beams, but Grundy certainly is a young ruckman. It's unusual to see a young ruckman come in and have such an impact. Normally you get these skinny, long players that need, another 10, sort of 12 kilos on him, but he's aggressive. He knows where to hit. Nice hits over the top and feeds his midfielders. So, he's certainly in very, very good form.
His communication, sometimes it's better if you don't verbalise things, but he indicated with his hands a couple lines and hit Pendlebury beautifully over the back. But look, the difference also, the key forwards, I thought Cloke was fairly good, but the supply wasn't great. But Buddy, he just kicks goals when they need goals, doesn't he? He's just great that way.
Well, kicking straight certainly helped him. Oh, no question about that. I mean, he could have very well gone tonight with 1 goal 3 or something like that. But the fact that he kicked straight. And the delivery, as we said, 20-odd marks inside forward 50, Sellers.
He's a great impact player, isn't he? When you look at him, he just gets it and all of a sudden something happens. And he's not a great marking player.
It helps when you get kicks like that out of full back.
Well, that is unbelievable. Poor old Goldstack would have broken his heart, but it certainly made his day. This is Buddy all over. Push and shove, agility, getting around, and then smart kick straight across to someone else. That was what he was good at. So he had a hand in probably 7 or 8 goals.
Yeah, kicked 4, so 4 goals straight, but as you said, a couple of assists there, and was fantastic. Played a great game, did Buddy Franklin, which he always does against Collingwood. I think he said 12 Brownlow votes and kicked more goals against the Pies than any other team. And when you're talking about Buddy Franklin, that's a fair amount of goals. Turnovers for the Pies. Sellers and Shorey, you were talking about it all night.
Well, this one, look, you need to hit that target because look at everybody running forward. Like Hawthorn had a couple of numbers, but this one was a big one. Where do you go there? Just the rebound. Everybody goes forward, and as soon as you get that, it's so hard to defend. The modern game shows you that. That's why you run up and back all the time.
Unusual for Sidebottom.
Yeah,
Sidebottom's got great vision. He had a guy out to the fat side there, Sellers.
Yeah, I saw him.
He should have just plonked it out. And normally he's a fantastic decision maker.
All right. They're too one-dimensional. They keep going for Cloke too often. They're obviously trying to look for other options, and that's not natural for them. Yeah,
well, as you said, Reid wasn't near it tonight, so there wasn't even a second avenue to goal for most of the night. Let's go down to the Hawthorn rooms and watch the Hawks sing the song as they go to the top of the ladder.